Hi, I'm Joe with Roll Call. We're here to show you our new American Security Safe line, also known as AMSEC. The question we got a lot was, who is AMSEC? And that's the same exact question that I asked the CEO of the company when I first met him this last year at SHOT Show. Everybody's heard of the Browning, everybody's heard of the Liberty, there's a bunch of them. You could go to pretty much anybody that sells any kind of Browning rifles and you can order a Browning safe. They are a dime a dozen. I'm not trying to take anything away from them, I'm just going to explain why the AMSEC is different and why we went with American Security. American Security is an East Coast company. The BF series are all American made, and then the non-BF series, they're assembled here in the United States, but the metal comes from Mexico. BF series, the BF line, that's burglar and fire rated, that is all produced here in the United States. American made, American steel, etc., etc. So what American Security is, long story short, is they are the largest, and this is the part that shocked me, they're the largest commercial safe company in the country, and I actually believe the world also. They have all the contracts with Starbucks, with Target. There's a whole slew of them. They gave me the whole list. I can't even remember. But American Security was basically a vault company for the commercial buildings. So I find it funny, it's ironic that they put their money in an AMSEC safe and then they're selling you some other knockoff brand out in the front. So we didn't want to go that route. We didn't want to compete against the box stores. And I spent too much time learning about safes to realize that we wanted to go with the highest end safe that we possibly can. So what AMSEC started doing is they started retrofitting their vault into basically a gun safe. And the BF line, and I keep mentioning that, which means burglar and fire rated, it's truly burglar and fire rated. But the burglar rating is through UL, and I'll show you that sticker on the door. It's a UL rating. It's not some independent company that nobody's ever heard of that gives a rating. Most safes are not burglar rated, they'll be fire rated. It's just assumed that there is burglar protection because it's real big and it's metal, and there's a lot of ways to defeat the safes that BF series AMSEC was able to overcome. So what I'm going to show you right here is, this is very heavy stuff here. This is basically it's basically backfilled concrete is what it is. This is what the safe actually looks like. It's metal, it's the concrete, which they call dry light, and then it's metal again. Most safes will be a thin piece of metal, and then it will have sheetrock for your fire rating, and then some sort of cardboard right here, or plywood, so they could nail the carpet onto. And if anybody did any research on safes, you'll realize that the quickest, easiest way to break into a safe is not by the big heavy door, it's going through the side. With the BF series, they managed to defeat that. So now you're gonna have to go through metal, the dry lock or concrete, and then metal again, which takes a very, very long time to actually get through one of these. And the door is a similar construction. This would be an average competitor. Now what they showed in here is metal, sheetrock, and metal. What I've seen in a lot of the series, and I don't want to mention who, but it's metal, it's sheetrock, and then it's also, again, plywood. When you take the plywood off of some of these safes off the door, you could actually take the door and the whole thing will sway back and forth. The BF lines is, I forget the measurement of this, it's a lot thicker metal, of course, and then the dry lock, and then the metal again, which makes it an extremely secure safe. So I'll show you this particular one. This one here is the BF 7250. 7250 is just nothing more than the dimensions. They found a real easy way to name their safe, 72 by 50. This is a double lock system. This keypad, you can change this at any time. And then if this got broken off, you could still use your manual safe lock. Now, an interesting thing about American Security is they have a lifetime warranty. Lifetime. These safes are going to outlast you and I. They'll be passed down to your kids. But there is a lifetime warranty with all the BF safes. And what does that entail? If somebody even attempts to break in and scratches it, dings it, knocks it around, AMSEC will replace or repair that safe. If it's scratched, they'll have it repainted, they'll refurbish it. God forbid your safe is in a fire, they will replace the entire safe. And taking on any new company, you always wonder how good their customer service is. One of our safes that we just brought in a couple months ago had a faulty plug. They're all equipped with plugs inside. And it was nothing more than a phone call, and they said, I'm shipping it right away. They didn't want me to ship back the old one. I found them to be extremely, extremely easy to deal with. When you're spending this kind of money on a safe, you don't want to get hassled over a plug outlet. So let's take a look inside. This particular one is outfitted. They're not all this way. They do come in all different types of, all different shapes and colors. This particular one is outfitted with the drawers. They're very heavy drawers. And then, of course, nice drawer for some hanging folders where you can put your papers in there, your birth certificates, your marriage license, your titles, anything. And that's another very, very important thing that I want to point out when they're talking about fireproof safes. It's important to realize that fireproof doesn't always necessarily mean that all the contents in your safes are going to be absolutely safe. A metal steel gun, a revolver, you're going to be able to pull it out and shoot it after a fire? Probably. What happens to your papers when the heat gets so high inside the safe? It's almost like taking a piece of paper and putting it in the oven. No direct flames on it, but when that gets so hot, that paper will crumble. So just be careful. I'm not saying all safe companies do this, but a lot of safe companies will say it's a 90-minute fire rating. Maybe. But possibly after 20 minutes, your papers or your cash is all gone. You might be able to pull your rifle out and use it, but if you have plastic on any of your weapons, that starts bubbling and will start swelling at a certain temperature much earlier than, let's say, a metal Ruger SP-101 would. So this is the safe. Another cool feature is when it's open, I cannot spin the knob to pull these bolts out. And the neat thing about that is if you had a safe or you have kids around, they're going to want to play with that, extending the bolts out and then shutting the door and then obviously causing a nice ding in your brand new paint job. So they don't allow you to do that. Now this particular one is 120-minute fire rated, and then it's also UL rated. Anybody that knows about UL, they are totally independent and they rate and test pretty much everything, light bulbs to, well, whatever you could think of. Again, here's the lifetime warranty against theft and fire, and of course, what I really like, made in the USA. All of our American security safes do come with free delivery within, I believe it's 25 miles. So it's free delivery. That's the biggest question is, how am I going to get it home? Well, you let us worry about that. But you could check us out online. Our safes are not on our website, but we do have hundreds of guns online. It's www.rollcall911.com. You can follow us and like us on Facebook. It's Roll Call LLC. Or stop here in Scranton, 701 Hudson Avenue, and check out the safes for yourself. If we don't have the color scheme that you want, don't worry, we can get it in for you. Thanks for watching.